Hi guys, I'm doing this part of the video a little bit earlier than everything else because it's starting to get dark, and the rest of the stuff I can do after it's dark because I'll be in the greenhouse. But this is my outdoor area where I had my succulent garden last year, and the only things I left out, as you can see, is this yucca right here, which did just fine and got really big. I have an ice plant and it bloomed during the day, but right now it's evening, so they've closed up. And then all of this sedum lime zinger, there's so much of it. I think what I'm gonna do is cut off a bunch and move it to different places, but it's formed this huge mound, and it was really just like a little clump about maybe this big when I first got it. Oh, and then I've got a little bit of this sedum right here. I think it's sedum angelina, maybe. But anyway, I want to show you guys this because this is where I'm going to do one of my succulent gardens this year. And finally, this year, I'm going to put some succulents in this wood. But I noticed last year, I learned a lot from the year before, and I noticed that this area right here, this area gets a lot of afternoon sun, so I put lots of cacti over here and more of my echeverias over here. So I will do one other thing before I start everything. So it's rained the last few days, and you can see the soil is just very wet. And even though they say if you clump it in your hands and it still falls apart, it's still good. And I've got a lot of river rock, I've got a lot of pea gravel, but I want to make it even more draining. So I bought like at least 7 bags of pea gravel to amend this bed. Because here in Arkansas, we get tons and tons of rain. Sometimes we get like, I don't know, 8 to 10 days of rain at a time. So it is still well draining, but I want it to be even better. So my plan this year is to, like I said, fill this wood log up with some different succulents. And I know that because it's facing away from so that's south, so that would be east. So it's facing away, so it won't get a ton of sun until the afternoon. And I think that will be fine. But I'm going to put cacti here. I'm going to put more echeverias here because my house is here, and that will shade a little bit of it in the afternoon. And I had some echeverias that did really, really well right here. So that's my ultimate plan, and it may change. And at the same time, I'm going to also survey the other areas in my yard and see what else, what other areas I can find that would be good for my succulents, because I want to find an area that gets good morning sun and not much afternoon sun. Afternoon sun is what tends to sunburn my echeverias, and I don't like that, but as long as they get acclimated to it, it seems like they do fine. But I'm kind of lazy because I don't like to acclimate them. So if I would just do a little surveying first, I think it will be fine. And look how dirty my hands are, guys, but I love it. It's crazy, you know, we're all out with this virus, stuck at home, and I really like it because we can spend tons of times with our plants. And since we're out here, I'll show you my other little pot of sedum that I didn't even give it water all winter. This is sedum autumn joy. No, this is autumn joy. I don't know what this is. If anybody knows what this is, let me know. And then I think this is some more angelina. And I got some more in the mail today. And finally, I have a little area over here next to my azaleas with some different sempervivums. You know, hens and chicks. There's a hen that didn't do very good, but I have some over here that did great. Look, these ones. This one did wonderful. This one, so pretty. So anyway, want to show you guys that, but I am going to do the rest of the video in the greenhouse, so I will show you guys that. But I wanted to do this part of it because I know it's getting dark and I don't want to wait until tomorrow. I want to post a video tonight. So anyway, moving on. I'll be back. All right, everybody. I also wanted to share some plant mail I got today. So I've got several bundles of the Sedum Angelina. And then I got some pencil cactus. Got some pads from some opuntias, not sure what kind, and this one is cut into a cross, so I'm not really sure how that will work. And then this looks like some sort of cremnosedum, but I thought I would share this in my Facebook video, and shout out to the person who sent it to me. I will tag you in the video, but I wanted to throw this in there, and thank you so much because I always want to expand my collection, and I love sedums because they spread everywhere and they work great in arrangements. And then plus opuntias do so well here in our climate. So anyway, thank you so much, and let's move on to something else. Okay, so before I move on, I just want to show you that I shoved some of these Sedum Angelinas in this pot right here that I had before, and I planted these opuntias, and I'm so happy because they're the spineless kind, and these are my favorite, and they've got new growth if you look really close. And just to show you guys, I have some spineless opuntia I got from a friend quite a while back. They didn't do anything all winter, even though I keep the greenhouse really, really warm. But then they just sprouted these new pads just in the last, like, maybe 3 to 4 weeks. So plants know when it is winter or summer, no matter what you do to them, apparently. And then, of course, I got these guys, and I haven't planted, I'm not really sure what to do with this, but I'll try planting it. And I haven't done anything with these guys yet. But like I said, I think these are cremnosedum, and I think I have something like that. Y'all ignore my mess, you know me. I think these are the same thing. Let me just compare, because now I need to see. And I'm pretty certain it's the same. Yeah, that's gotta be the same. But they're really cool, and not a lot of people have these, and they're too cute. So got those guys, and then I've got this fire sticks, or some people call it pencil cactus, so I'll plant that too. But anyway, wanted to show you guys this, and then we will move on and look at a couple other things and go from there. So another thing I want to talk about is some new plants I've acquired. And I got this guy from Lowe's or Home Depot, I can't remember which. But I think it's a gray curls or blue curls. And then later on I found another one. And then I found this one, I think it's the baby's necklace. But I wanted to share with you my new finds. And then of course I've got a Korean hybrid Echeveria Cupid. Here's another Cupid. And then all my other Korean hybrids that I had over here, I sold at the plant sale. But don't you guys worry, because I will have another online sale. And even if you are not from Arkansas, you can still join our sale group. And I will post the link on here. So if you guys are interested, just go ahead and check it out. But anyway, wanted to show you guys this because I know when I plant this one, I'm planning on planting this one for sure, and this one for sure in the ground in that in the succulent bed that I have outside. So anyway, wanted to show you guys that, and then I'll show you some other stuff. So give me just a minute. Hey guys, I wanted to show you just the stuff I have left from the plant sale. And if you think this is a lot, it's not, because I had over 350 plants, and now I have 27 left, so I sold almost everything, but I wanted to tell you guys that the live feed plant sale went really, really well, and I think a lot of people were really itching to get out, or not get out, but they were itching to get plants because they can't get out. And if you think this is bad stuff, this is actually, I sprayed everything down with a hose. Actually just pollen. There's pollen in the air everywhere right now. We're in Arkansas and we're in high allergy season, but I've got Echeveria chromas right here. So this is the stuff I have left. I have a few other things left. If you guys will ignore my mess, as always. I have some of these guys left, a couple flapjacks and some things. I will admit I saved a couple things for myself and a couple of the gibifloras. Some of these, like these guys, were not in the plant sale. That one was, and then that Lola and that chroma. All this stuff was not, and then I did save a few gibifloras for myself and a few of these. I have no clue what these are, but I've been calling them purple frills, and I still don't know what they are to this day, but I'm going to experiment with them and just see what's going on and how big they get. What are they? I don't know. But the plant sale that was a live feed went extremely well, and I will admit it was a little more boxing and shipping than I wanted to do, but I had a great time. I think everyone else who watched it and participated had a great time too. And I hope everyone's happy with their plants. But I wanted to give you an update on that. And then I'm going to go through and show you a couple other random things as well. Like my outdoor succulent garden. And a few things I got in the mail. Plus some other things. Because I didn't want this video to be too short. But I did want to show you these guys. And look at these opuntias right here. There's a, I don't know why I want to say Edremis, because it's a, oh my goodness. Why do I always forget this one? Anyway, chromas, Pearl von Nürnbergs. There's another one of those, purple frill things. I don't know what they are. Does anyone know what these are? You know, some desert rose babies I grew from seed. That's one of my things I really like to do, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to some other stuff, and we will go from there, okay? Alright guys, so this is the last part of the video I'm going to do, and what I thought I would do was show you what I normally go through when I screen my greenhouse for maintenance. And that basically means I go through and look at all my plants and see which ones need water, what's going on, and really most of it is which ones need water. Now these guys are cuttings, and I know they look really sad, like especially this one, but if I give it a good tug, it's got roots, so I'm not worried. I'm just going to water it every day. I did fill up my propagation trays with water yesterday, which is why the soil all looks wet right here. And other than a few outliers like this guy, everyone seems to be doing really well. And just remember that babies do really, really well with a lot of water. So it's rarely ever that I overwater them. And that one that died, it actually was dry. I should have showed you that before I pulled it out, but it dried up. And then down here, same thing. I filled these trays up with water. So these guys are getting happy. Now, I have no clue why this one looks so dry, but I will go in just a minute, and I'm going to water this one. That's really strange. These guys look dry, but I stuck my finger in there, as you can see earlier, and there's plenty of water in there, so I'm not going to do anything to them. All these are baby blue herons that came off of the mama, and I'll show you mama later, but she has given me at least 30 babies just in her lifetime. Down here, these are different cuttings. They seem to be doing well, and, you know, yes, they look dehydrated, but cuttings can look dehydrated for quite a while until they get established. But if you give them a tug, you know they've got roots. So I'm not really worried that they're not living. They just look a little sad. And like these guys, these are baby roseas. They're doing okay. This is kind of my hospital area. I did have a dark moon that bit the dust the other day. So instead of doing anything to it, I just pulled the leaves off and laid them here. If you see a leaf like this with some rot, it's done for. Like these guys, yeah. But if you see one that does not have rot, okay, so yeah, that's questionable. So I'm gonna leave it there. But all these guys seem to be happy. And if you see this stuff on my leaves right now, we are overrun with pollen. Here in Arkansas, we get so much pollen. So if I spray my plants down, which I regularly do with a hose, because I don't have time to sit there with each one of them and water them, I spray them down with the hose, and that's what they end up looking like. But that's a, gosh, I don't even know what that is, but it's something I beheaded and it's making babies. So anyway, I really love this one. This was given to me by a friend. It's an Echeveria variegated diamond state. It's gonna get really big. And what is this plant, you might ask? This is a tree of a star fruit, and I bought a star fruit from the store. Please ignore my mess, you guys. It's embarrassing. I bought a star fruit from the store and decided to see if I could grow a seed from it, and I've gotten this over time. This is a pineapple that I cut the top off from a grocery store, and it's grown into this, but I have had it fall off of my balcony multiple times before I moved into this house. I lived in a condo, and it's fallen off like at least 5 or 6 times, and it's still lived this long. So maybe someday it will finally make me a pineapple. But I'm gonna look around, and what I'm looking for at this point is I want to find any plants that look like they may need water. So these guys look good. My general rule is if your plants look good and they look plump, they don't need anything. And if you just really aren't sure, okay, this one doesn't really look plump. Feel the leaves. Okay, it's a little floppy, and it also feels a little thin down here. So this Echeveria Blueprints could use a little water. Flapjacks, they're doing all right, but they were cut off of my first one. You feel how see how floppy this is compared to, like, this one moves the whole plant. This one it's just floppy. So this one needs water, and this is what I'm talking about when you do the feel test. And I did a whole video on that. Okay, this Culebra, I see a leaf that's totally dry. It needs to go. And I actually see another one over here that needs to go. So I'm gonna clean that off. You know, any of these like dry leaves, that's normal for the bottom of your Echeverias to shed their bottom leaves like this. So don't freak out, it's normal. What about this flapjack right here? So I can feel it needs water for sure. And yeah. So I'm gonna water that guy. And let's go ahead and move on to the other side. I have to walk around some stuff. It's kind of messy in here, but let's see. Okay, Echeveria colorata. Okay, this one is, if it's dry enough, I can pull this completely off. If I can't pull it, yeah, okay. If it's dry enough, it'll pull off. So I go through, pull these guys off like this, just throw them down. This one, can you see, this is a Galaxy Blue, and I don't know why it's not labeled, but can you tell how much it needs water? Just thin, the bottom leaves are so thin, it's floppy. And then if you look at, like, say this Snow Bunny, she looks good. She doesn't look like she needs anything, so She could use some water, but she still looks good. So, Minima, even though it looks okay, I can tell this one needs water. And just remember, you guys, if your succulents don't get enough water, once you water them, they will recover. But if you overwater them just one time, you can kill them. So I would rather underwater than overwater. Okay, this one, which I still don't know the name of, so floppy. This one's gonna get water. And you guys, this is what happens when you have an echeveria that doesn't get enough sun. This is called an echeveria autumn flame. See how it's kind of curling down? So I don't like this one right here, and I'm gonna move it somewhere where I know it's gonna get a little more. And later on, we'll look at that. I've got an echeveria raindrops, and I can tell by the drops and by how floppy it feels, it needs water. Same thing with this Pearl von Nurburg, same thing with this thing. So just remember, you guys, I'm not neglecting these guys. I'm just making sure that I don't overdo it. So you can overdo it with the water and you're in trouble, but underdoing it, unless you just leave them alone for a long time, you're fine. So that's what I do with my babies. So most of these guys, pretty happy. This one looks good, but I am such a nitpicker with these dead leaves. Here's a purpusorum with a long bloom, and I need to cut this off at this point. But anyway, moving on. I've got some guys over here. I cut the head off this Cass hybrid. It's making 2 new pups, but here's a dead leaf that I don't like. Fireglow. Oh, this is a big mess. I'll clean more of this up later, but this is a lilac mist. And at this point, I'm about to cut this one off and put this into a new pot. So this Belen has finally outgrown her pot, and my Riviera is getting bigger. And see, this leaf looks like it needs to come off, but it's not. It won't pull off, so I'm not gonna force it. Red licorice, yeah, that one came off. And you guys, I can do this all day. Here's a Culebra, and I see this leaf. So really, I'm looking to see what leaves can I pull off and which plants need to be watered. So here's another Riviera. Some of the leaves can pull off easily and some don't, like that one. But like this one, yeah. But this one, oh, okay, it did come off. So Rivieras actually get pretty big. I have a big one I'll show you at some point. Here's a Mexican Zaragoza. Someday I will invest in a long pair of tweezers, but until then, this is what I'm gonna do. Here's my cactus area. If anyone has any great tips on San Pedros, I water these guys all the time and they always look dehydrated, but I'm not a cactus expert, I can tell you that. And then moving on over here, I have had a few cacti that have bloomed recently, like this one. It's not blooming right now. And then this one, it just got done blooming, but I'll try to post some pictures of that. And then this one looks like it's about to any time now, this domino cactus. And look at this Echeveria elegans, which doesn't look super fancy, but if you look at her, look what's under her right now. She just cannot stop giving babies, and I love her for that. And I think I'm gonna have to pull some of those off and put them in the garden. So anyway, this is an Echeveria Etna, which I got for a friend, but this leaf won't come off, but I really thought it would. Nope, not yet. It's a little elongated, and I feel really bad about that. But the good news is you can cut the head off, plant it, and then you get a new one. So my friend is actually going to get 2 from this. And then If anyone has any tips on what to do with my trumpet pinky, I know these are 2 babies at least that it's had, but I'm just worried about separating them because I've never done it before. This is one of my more expensive plants, but I sure do love it. It came from Korea, and anyway, I love this thing. I've got a little bit of everything though. I've got a bluebird. It's kind of where I keep all my Korean hybrids and other things. And this one just cannot get enough water. I give it water all the time and it just can't get enough. So I'm thinking about putting it in one of those little trays and letting it just soak it up for a few days. Here's a beautiful unknown giviflora. And if you look at this barbillion right now, you see how the leaves are kind of like, well, first off, they're floppy. Second off, they're kind of like pointed, and they shouldn't be like that. So this one definitely needs water. I'm gonna water this when I get off the camera because I love this plant. And then maybe let's do, okay, that one I know can come off. I could do this all day. Oh, I see one more on my autumn flame. Oh no, maybe not. Okay, well, here's a bigger Riviera. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because, like I said, I could do this all day. And I'm basically just pulling off dry leaves, and I'm also checking each plant to see if it needs water. And just remember, my plants are not diseased. This is pollen, comes right off. We have terrible pollen here in Arkansas, and I wouldn't normally do this, except this plant doesn't get a lot of the farina, which is the white coating, so don't mind doing this with this one. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my videos and tuning in, and I'm really happy that I can help anyone as far as growing their succulents, propagating, repotting, all that stuff. And if you have any specific suggestions on videos that I can make, please let me know in the comments, and I will definitely put that on my list because I need more ideas. And I also want to help you guys, you know, get more into succulents just like I am. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe and subscribe if you can. Thank you and have a great night. Bye-bye.